What's up, everybody? Ed here. Gonna do an unboxing. Got my fancy little case knife that I found in 1983 or so on the floor of a strip club. And this is from Teespring. I'm gonna open it up. Oh, foldy. This is just the way it came from in the mail. Pull it out. They didn't even hardly wrap it. They just stuffed it in there. I could do this all night, but I won't. What is it? 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 Ta-da! Get your hand out of the way, Ed. Ta-da! Focus, camera. Focus, focus all. Dr. Groovy coffee mug so I can drink my coffee in the morning in style. That's a lot of coffee. That's a lot of coffee. That's a bigger mug. And he's got a lot of cool ones like this, and then he's got ones with guitars too. And you guys help Dr. Groovy out and go check out his Teespring. Get a shirt, get a mug, get a keychain, buy a pony, something from Dr. Groovy. And you can catch us. I won't be on the show this Sunday because we have a gig. Weather forecast is great. It's an outdoor gig. There's always a chance it could change and I could be there, but we've already kind of planned that I would not be there. Okay, what I want to talk about today. Who is or was the greatest performing rock band in the world? Who was it? Who do you think it was? I'm going to make an argument that it was the early Beatles. Yes, folks, the Beatles. Now, I know what a lot of people say and think about the Beatles, especially people that were really hip on like 80s music, and they weren't there when Beatlemania actually affected everybody's life. When people were wearing Beatle boots, they were wearing Beatle suits, they had Beatle haircuts, they had Beatle posters on their walls, they were watching the Beatles cartoons, they were watching the Beatles movies, they were buying the Beatles records, they were hanging Beatles posters on their walls. No, I think I can say this with confidence, no other rock group had an effect on young people the way they did at the time. They got a bit controversial where there was the record burnings and they said that John Lennon said the Beatles were bigger than Jesus Christ himself. That's not what he said. Go back and research it yourself. I'm not going to argue it or debate it. But I am going to show some video proof and tell why I think the Beatles were just fantastic. Okay, here we go.
I give you the one and only fabulous Beatles!
Okay, first of all, the introductions. They always had a big introduction. And before that, he goes, let me say it first. John! And you repeat, and he goes, John! And the crowd goes, John! And he goes, Paul, they go, Paul, and he goes, Ringo, and George, and I give you the Beatles, and then they come out, and immediately go right here.
She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah.
A 1-2 drum roll right into it, all three of them right off the bat. At the time, this was a song that they had done on Ed Sullivan. I saw it the night it broadcast. I was a little kid. The whole family was there. My father, I told you about this before. made huge fun of them. But look at the way they're dressed. Look at the way they do it. Now, you'll see if you go watch these clips, I've got them all in the description. I've got all the links to where I took these videos, and I hope this works and I don't get like the hell beat out of me by YouTube for copyright stuff. But he immediately starts having problems with the microphone. The microphone starts drifting away from his mouth, and he's constantly holding it back. And at one point, he tries to raise the mic stand, and it won't stay up. And he finally just leaves it where it is and tilts the mic up, and it just keeps drifting away from him. He fights it the whole night, never stops, never misses a beat. Never misses a beat. This is one of my favorite Beatles songs of all time, and the harmony is great, the song is great, and John playing the harmonica. And this, to me, because of the harmonica, gave it kind of a country feel to it. I'll see if I can grab a little harmonica out of here for a second to show how he did it, because I had never seen Dylan, okay, before this. So I never saw anybody wear a harmonica on a strap, and the first one I ever saw was John Lennon. I mean, literally, the way these guys did it, you know, the harmonica, the harmony, look how handsome they all are. This was just something people hadn't seen. No one was doing this at that time. It was groundbreaking. It was revolutionary. It was absolutely amazing. And you got to remember, you got to think about back in that day, like they carried their own amps. I don't know if they rented them everywhere they went or they carried them, but the PAs were usually provided by the venue, the hall, or the music hall, or the stadium, or wherever. And you see equipment stuff change. And like in that one video, you can go watch the video. Those mic stands and the mic setups, they were just horrendous. They were absolutely, absolutely horrendous. And the bow. Come on, man. How cool is that? They step back from the mic and they bow down to the audience, thanking them for the cheers and the adulation. Camera flashes flashing around. And this stuff was all recorded, so there were people recording them, cameras all over from different angles, because they show this stuff from different angles. And a lot of this stuff was televised. We didn't see it, but it was televised over in England or whatever country they were in. There was stuff that was done in Germany, England, Ireland. They were all over the place. Australia. There's film. I've got footage here. The one concert is from Australia, but that bow, that is classic. How many rock bands or pop bands? I call them a pop band. They were pop music to me, and I love pop music. Talk about pop music. Talk about it. But that's just that's class. That's class. Anybody see the mistake? John did the scream to go into the lead ride, and it wasn't time yet. He had another chorus to sing, and George and Paul go into the chorus, and John just looks and laughs right back on it, man. He's right there to do it.
Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away.
And then they do a classic like Yesterday that you would expect, you know, Paul would sit down with the acoustic, because that was recorded with just him by himself with the acoustic. No, they were able to perform the song, and they go through it. You got to watch the videos, man. You got to watch the videos. The Beatles were a good live band. They like set a standard for what live bands had to do, and they cut their teeth playing live for 2 years in Germany, 5, 6, 7 nights a week, maybe 8 days a week. Who knows? They played a lot, okay, a lot, and go watch these videos, please. Just go watch these videos.
Out of my mind, I'm gonna let you down. Let you down. Leave you flat.
And there's John fighting with that microphone stand. I can't find the part that's here somewhere where he's messing with it and trying to raise it up and make it stay, and it keeps falling. He wasn't tightening it the right way. He did. I know his brain wasn't working, or maybe he didn't know how to work mic stands. I don't know, but go watch it. It's great. It's great. But anyway, I would argue that the Beatles, for their time, and maybe for all time, were one of the best live acts to ever perform. And they finally got to the point, because, PAs were so crappy and stuff was so crappy, that they could not play louder than the crowd, and they couldn't hear themselves play, and they decided to just can live performances and go to the studio. And then, after that, they cut their greatest albums after that, or, Sergeant Pepper came out and just blew the world away. And then finally Abbey Road, and then they were done. But if you ever want to go down a rabbit hole of good pop music and fun performance, watch these guys. They had class. They were talented. I didn't even get into some of the stuff I wanted to get into, like lead solos and stuff, how they were kind of chord based a lot of times, and just played through chords, but there were lead rides from George and from John. But don't ever for a minute think that they weren't good musicians and they didn't have an intrinsic and inherited talent for performing and playing, and that they didn't work on it, because you'd be wrong. Okay, you were wrong again. I want to tell you, these guys, they knew what they were doing, and they were good at it. And we all know the story. And us old fogies, I'd like to thank all the old fogies for hanging around with me. I've noticed that my numbers have dwindled a little bit, and it's probably not from posting, but the only thing I would say is, if you don't like the way I do things, then don't watch. That's all I can say. But to the rest of you, thank you so much. Check out my Patreon. I would just love to see somebody hit up my Patreon and help support me doing this. And check out the Beatles. I love the Beatles, and I hope that you will too. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.